up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Good to be back with everybody again. I got you guys piling into the room. Good morning to Adam, Albert, Amy's in the house. Good morning to Anna, Bill, Cindy K, Fabrice. Good morning, Jill. Good morning, Joe, Kyle, Lauren, and the squadron's out. Marius, good morning. Martina, Matthew, good morning. Ron. We got Ryan, Sebastian, Wynn. All my peeps out there in YouTube land, good morning to everybody. Hope you guys are doing absolutely incredible. Rado, good morning to you as well. All the lurkers in the background of YouTube, that's okay. I still love you. Just hit that like and subscribe button. And, if you don't do that share thing to anybody you think is interested in some pre-market morning chart therapy, I guess is what I don't know what else to call it, but it's all good. We have the SPY gapping up a little bit, pretty negative down day, not a great close. We just sold all day, very little time to bounce, not really anything impressive for the bulls. It's like they didn't even show up yesterday. They tried. Let's actually go into the 5-minute chart. This is the extent of the bulls' work, and then they called it quits, went to the beach. So right out of the gate in the morning, we had a little bit of a bounce. And I think this is going to be important for today too. But this is a little bit of a bounce. And then as soon as we got the numbers in yesterday, as soon as we got the report that came in yesterday, we just tanked. Then there was relentless selling. Nobody wanted anything, and we'll go through why that potentially is as well. But let's take a look at the. So let's go to actually the daily chart. Let's get some targets. We'll make out bull and bear case. So yesterday's VPOC at least was sort of lower end, and we are gapping up from that today. So that would be 421.43. That should be our support. We'll see if that could hold. Based on that close, that's a tough one. To the higher side, looks like we have a moving average coming in at 425.58. So maybe that provides a little bit of support. Otherwise, we don't really have the next VPOC for resistance up to 425.87. Could be a little bit of an inside day. I think we had ADP report today. Didn't really do too much. I think we got a little tiny pop off of it, and we're still holding. The interesting thing is after hours futures last night, there was a point, I think it was roughly about 10:30 Eastern last night. We just started to dump again, and then this morning we've recovered a lot of it. So we've sold a lot. Without any real pullbacks in the market. There could be relief rallies in certain places. We do know where our support is right now. Yeah, we would actually have better risk reward to the higher side than to the lower side, but would love to see this thing pull back first, as close as possible to that 421.40 zone for a potential bounce if it's going to. I still got my random magic lines on my chart. So 418.31. We got pretty close to that the other day, didn't quite hit it. So could we possibly come down and this just be a retest? If we're going 50% of yesterday's candle, let's just get an idea what that could be. That would be somewhere about here. Where are we gapping up? So we're not even at the 30. We're not even at the 38% retracement yet. So watch for like 423.82. If this is any effort just to do about a 50% retracement of the candle from yesterday, 423.82. So there is going to be a little bit of resistance in spots where people might want to go short. We'll take a look at the Qs as well. QQQ. INTC. Yep. If you guys have any tickers you want to take a look at, be sure to throw that into the chat pane as well. QQQ. So we have not as great looking as the SPY, if you could call the SPY great looking. I will say the SPY doesn't look great looking, but the Qs definitely look worse. So we are actually gapping down slightly. No, just, I don't know. We just made a jump. I don't know if TradingView just made a mistake, or let me see the chart real quick. QQQ. No, so that's just TradingView's open thing. Okay. Now we're looking a little bit more like the SPY. We're looking a little bit more like the SPY. So Qs, we're same little deal. We are gapping up a little bit. Technically, it is a gap and go, but we are inside day. Most likely, probably going to hit some chop. We should have strong resistance now at this point, 354.75. That would be two VPOCs, plus we have one more just kind of hanging out there. So otherwise, longer term picture, is this a double bottom and then we start to at least relief rally out of here? That's very, very possible as well. Still have a nice little high wave. We did retest that. Everything trend is down. I think the easier path to resistance is down. However, to the higher side, we're looking for resistance 357.99. We'll call that 358. To the downside, 354.83. So we have a little bit more risk to reward to the higher side. Doesn't mean it's going to go higher. So I would rather this thing come down first, and then if we want to try to go bullish something, we could. But let's pull up one more chart. The one that I had on my screen yesterday, Monday, Friday, Thursday, because without TLT starting to rally, we're not going to get any real opportunities to buy stocks, and I think all pressure will be to the downside. So we do have a gap and go, still inside day on TLT. Again, a pretty decent rally. I mean, we're up on TLT almost 84 cents, so closer to the dollar jump on this one. I think we just started to maybe get a couple red candles in here. We have today's VPOC on TLT sitting at 85.78. So that's the zone to make any bullish case possible. I would like to see a little bounce off of that, use that as support, and then rally from there. If that is possible, then I will be looking to go along. If we cannot bounce off of that 85.78, we start to break down. The next level I have on TLT is 85.08, essentially the close of yesterday. And we'll see if any of those two zones hold, or we just continue to free fall. But unless TLT starts to rally, doesn't even make any sense for us to look bullish. We do have a gap and go. It is inside day. And we could probably see a little chop fast. I would like to see a little pullback, and I want to use that 85.78 right now as some kind of support and see if we get a bounce from there. So kind of in no man's land. I do expect a little bit of chop out of the gate. Let's pull up INTC. INTC. I think they had a partnership or something, didn't they? Let's see. INC new spinoff. So Intel has a new spinoff. Technically a retest gap, but we are breaking through the wick from yesterday. We still got 21 more minutes till this market opens. So we'll see where this opens. Otherwise, this is a decent gap. I still would expect a little bit of pullback. The problem with a little bit of a pullback is it's really it can't really pull back that much. I'd want to see 36.51 hold. So that would be the spot. If we open below 36.51, I don't see any other reason this thing could get held up. And this actually might be, which we've seen for the latter part of this year, sell the rip. And this could definitely be sell the rip territory. I think we're probably sitting also from this entire move. I would put this roughly 50% retracement. Let's see how close I got to that. We have a little bit more room to go. And we also have a resistance up there as well. So somewhere around 36.86. Let's see if we got there already pre-market. 36. We got very, very close to it. So we've already almost hit that 50% retracement. We've already started to reject. I do think this one probably pulls back. It is a retest gap, and we are in an environment where if anybody gets a gift, they're going to just steal that gift, hold it for themselves, cash it in. I would imagine we get a pullback on this one. It's still a little bit more bullish than so far. I guess everything's kind of gapping up. It's a decent gap. We do have a little bit of the resistance above us, which I don't like. And then if we do drop a little bit further, again, there's just really no VPOC that's going to be saving us. Maybe this one back here. Maybe we can make a case for 36.45. And then after that, we start kind of nose diving down to like 36, and we're right back inside that candle. So I would treat this one as a little bit of a retest. It's held up pretty well as the market's been just dying. We've had a few days that are kind of bullish. But yep, I think that's worth looking into a buy the dip scenario. Let me see if I can move this one higher. Get it right up there. Beautiful. Marius wants to look at Palantir, PLTR. Palantir. This one, I think this one got the partnership. Yep. So this one's got a partnership with PwC. Is that a Price Waterhouse? Or is it a different company? Top contract to overhaul. Oh, separately, Bloomberg reported. All right. Palantir Global professional services firm. Is that a Price Waterhouse or is that a different company? Anytime I've seen PwC, Price Waterhouse, it's been a capital, developing capital. So I'm questioning if this is Price Waterhouse or not. But regardless, they do have a partnership, which is good. Nice little gap up. Still inside day from yesterday. Quite the gap. Nice little move. I think it would have to climb a little bit more for me to get interested. See if this one wants to pull back closer to 1541. If it could hold 1541, I can make a case that we get that little bit of a pullback and then we run. Otherwise, it's probably chop fest. We do have some decent resistance above us. The next stop, 1585. And then the bigger one, if we're going to go stretch goal, maybe 1609 would be the spot. But we've been in this zone for a while. We haven't really gapped out. We're starting to build a little bit of a channel. So double bottom, double top. And we're a little bit toward the higher end of that channel right now. So if I was to look to buy, probably closer to $15.41. And it wouldn't be an automatic buy because we're very, very far from that bottom too. Still beautiful reversal. Yeah, my bullish case on this one will be probably about 1586. And again, if something crazy, the market actually does want to hold, the bonds start holding, Nvidia starts to rally, I think that would be a decent case for maybe we get that 1608. Apple as a retest gap off the 200. So Apple had a downgrade. We are sitting at that 200. The downgrade is taking us down when the rest of the market is gapping up. So Apple is going to be a little bit weaker for right now. We do have that 200 sitting right there. This would be your candle. If we start to break the lows of yesterday, that would be your short opportunity. If you're going to try to go long something, I don't know that it would be Apple. If you're trying to make a longer term play, a swing trade, and you're saying, hey, you know what? This is right by the 200. We have a downgrade. The downgrade didn't absolutely murder Apple. I mean, it pretty much murdered itself. You can't kill somebody who strangles himself. This one is still holding with that downgrade, but there is the negative sentiment, negative connotation today that I think is going to be a little bit more of a challenge to really push up higher for a day trade. If you're looking for a swing trade, I could make this argument. You are at that 200. We did dip down below. This could be a bear trap. We've put in a bullish engulfing candle. We're just still really hanging out in this. So if you're going to take your stops and go 167.58 and just hopefully we can finally get a bounce, I could make a case for that. Day trade wise, I think is going to be a little tough though. It's not Price Waterhouse. Yeah, I don't know what PwC is. I don't know what PwC with the lowercase w. PwC is an ETF. Yeah, I don't know if it's publicly traded, but they also had something about UK healthcare. So I don't know if it has, maybe it's a UK thing. Where's all my UK people? Have you guys ever heard of it? I don't know. Because I'm not sure. But apparently it's a big deal enough to gap up Palantir. All right. But yeah, that's the only saving grace that you got. And then again, if we start to really break down yesterday's low, watch for that. The low is 170.86. And I don't know. I don't know. I really don't want to see another close below that 200. All right, Ali says RPM. Let's see what that is. RPM International. Did they also partner? Yeah, looks like they also partnered with PwC. Nice gap up. Everybody that's PwC is the saving grace of the market right now. Really good gap up, but this one is right into resistance. See if this one come a little bit higher, maybe into like 99.66. Even though this is a gap and go, and you are trapping a decent amount of bears on this thing, you're not trapping the bears on this one candle yet. So anything, I would say stop anywhere above this candle. So the high of this candle is 99.97. So maybe throwing a stop at $100 even, I think would be a good spot to attempt a short, just hoping that this resistance does want to hold. And this thing, anybody that is, again, looking to take profits on this thing might want the opportunity to get out. But we are trapping a decent amount of people. If it was higher than this, so the next 13 minutes, we're gapping above this candle, then I would say all gloves are off and let's go boxing. And this thing probably would just absolutely crush higher. Otherwise, I think we get a little bit of maybe some panic selling, bring us a little bit higher, probably into the 99.78. Again, stops I think should be somewhere close to $100 or slightly higher. And then I think to look for a fade on RPM, but interesting gap. Let me see if I could add this one to the list. RPM. I've never traded this one, so I don't know the volume on it and how it trades, but nice little double bottom you got there too. Looks decent. Looks decent, but I think it fades, and then probably in the next few days continue to watch it. HELE. I haven't seen this one in a little bit. Helen of Troy. Who gave me this one? Oh, this is Ali too. I think Ron was trading this one for a while. All right. Massive gap down. I'm seeing if there's any level of support. We might have one from back here. I think that's an extremely weak one. We could maybe hang our hats up on that. Otherwise, we got a few bars of resistance. 107.28. So even though this is a retest gap, I probably wouldn't go short because it is a retest gap. I would wait, see if this thing does want to come down a little bit lower, somewhere into this 104.24 zone. And then maybe see if we get a little bit of buying from there. Otherwise, this should have been a decent hold level. We did close below that one candle, so that's already looking weak. There is a lot of people in this thing short already. But a lot of people were probably looking for this gap fill. And they got it. They got it, but now they have to deal with the new gap, brand new gap fill. So this one is I think still comes down a little bit. Again, if I miss it to the long side, I'm okay with that. We do have some decent areas of resistance. And if this thing comes down a little bit further, I'll call it 104. Somewhere around there would be a decent spot to look to try to get some kind of bounce. So see if this one wants to drop another $2.20 before we get bought up. Noob question. What is SMA? Yep. Simple moving average. Weekly time frame. Thank you. Again, interested if I missed any comments. Microsoft and RMK. All right. So MSFT. Small gap up. Still bearish trend on the daily. My bullish case would probably be to, and again, I'm going to be watching TLT. If TLT starts to rip and really looks good, and we got some kind of a rally in bonds, maybe, but otherwise, I'm looking for 316.47. So it's not going to give us too much room. Probably about $2 to the high side. Really bullish case, if we want to make a little stretch goal, that's probably about 317.81 if things really start to move. And I would be essentially all out from there. But this, again, it is technically a gap and go. We might even see a little bit of buying, but this chart can't make you feel too comfortable. Where we had this as our if this candle breaks moment, and we did get the candle to break. So that candle broke. Looks like we actually got some closes below it. This is probably more of a retest into it. I still think it is down a lot from the highs, and we have the 200 sitting right there below us. That's going to be somewhere around 306. So again, I see a little bit more downside to this thing, but very, very bearish close. This looks like a retest. People trying to get out. Perfect spot to do so. And then bearish candle, little gap up. Probably more to the chop side today. But it has a little bit of room. Again, if it dips, that will give us a little bit better opportunity. I'm not opposed to going bullish today because bonds are up. The question really becomes is for how long are the bonds up for? And how strong is there any bulls interested? RMK is not doing anything from what trading view is telling me pre-market. Yeah, I'm not getting any pre-market indicator. I would imagine this is just going to be opening kind of flat. You do have we are above yesterday's VPOC, even with that close. So if you're going to make any bullish case on this one, it's got to hold 24.27. Anything below that, the chart doesn't look great. I think this one will continue to come down lower. We even have pretty decent volume sitting at 24.36. So that's going to be our resistance. If it could break that, maybe next target is 24.60. So I'm not sure if you're in this thing. For day trade, I don't know if I would take this for day trade. For swing trade, you're really probably looking for a continuation, and that is a pretty gross low. I think if this thing can bounce to $25.10, something in that zone, that would be your spot to reload to attempt to go short. So we will see. Unless that closes today and this becomes a trap, because you do have some volume on there. I would imagine actually that if you could have your stop, if you're going short, 25.09 would be your stop. I wouldn't want to see that thing get taken out. And then I would continue to look for the downside. All right. Win has a chart on Tesla. He says, don't follow me, though. Stick with DJ. He's the pro. No, I'm just a guy on the internet. I'm going to follow Win. All right. We got 247.67. So you're thinking, yeah, we smacked 250 right in the face yesterday, and that's where the selling started to come in. I will say with Tesla, with the market coming down very, very tough yesterday, the day before as well, even on bad news 2 days ago, Tesla's been holding very, very strong. Let's take a look at Tesla on the daily, and this would be my Tesla analysis. I don't know. We're in a chop zone. So I was looking at this thing this morning to see how I wanted to play this. We have a couple of interesting things in here. Number one, let's go back. We got 6 minutes. This gap up was an incredible gap. We consolidated. Everything was bullish. Everyone was trying to figure out a game plan of how to get long into Tesla after this gap. Do you take breakouts? Do you take pullbacks? Should you wait for the gap fill? The only question anybody had is, how do I get in this thing bullish? And I was like, I was in the camp of, okay, let's see if we get this pullback. I just don't want to buy this thing high. Yeah, there's a gap fill up there somewhere at like 290. So my game plan was, if this thing comes down to, I think I had 240. I think I had 248 actually. 247, 248, somewhere around these little VPOCs, right? This little zone of should be support. That was my plan. If it comes down there, okay, let's try to go long. Then this thing absolutely gets crushed right through it. It's starting to break through 244.79. That's a deep area for volume. So I don't know. But then it throws in a hammer. We instantly take out that hammer. That's bullish. That could be a reversal spot. And if this longer term picture, this is your bounce spot. 3 weeks from now, we're looking at this thing going, yeah, that's an obvious hammer. This is just a pullback. You're at essentially the 618 from this initial move. So everything kind of still looks decent in a bullish direction on this one. We've had some trouble with 250. But even on this break, after this hammer, this candle's really retest into that hammer, still holding that decent support. Long might be the direction on this thing. and throwing a stop somewhere around yesterday's low, right around yesterday's low, 24.34, something like that. That could get you a decent, at least on a swing trade basis, decent room to the higher side. What I think I would wait for, especially if the market wants to rally today and these bonds hold. If the bonds don't hold, eventually Tesla will just nosedive and start to break down, and we'll see some decent sell-off. If the bonds do find any type of base, this market wants to find any type of base, Tesla has been showing a little bit more strength than the rest of the market. Yesterday was just really an inside day from this massive move that we had overall. We still have that high wave that's indecision. We've really just been staying inside that indecision candle. And if this is a gap up and we start to break out, it's possible this entire thing is just some kind of little double bottom, higher lows, and we could break out. I think that's going to cause a little indecision because the entire market's coming down or has been coming down. Tesla's still staying strong, and some bears are like, what's going on with this thing? We've closed that gap. We broke through the gap. We're starting getting closes underneath that last little pivot. And then some bulls are looking at that hammer and looking at that support. And I think you get some kind of indecision chop. So I think Tesla will be a little tougher to trade. But yesterday it did fail pretty hard at 250. So if you do want to go short, close as possible to that 250. So I like your chart in terms of your entry. I think you got somewhere at 249.50. I think you're right there on the money. That's your opportunity to do it. And as long as we stay inside here, as long as we stay inside this, not so much, I don't care about yesterday's candle, but if we stay inside of this candle, any stops to 251.60, I think is your best place for a stop. Get in as high as you can to the top of this candle, and hopefully this is just inside days. If it comes down lower to 244.82, that's going to be your spot to look to buy with your stops closer to 242.33. I know a lot of people don't want to trade inside day candles. It doesn't mean you can't. It just, you have to really be patient. Wait for this thing to pop up higher to go short. Wait for this thing to go low. Just play the risk reward on this trade. Right now you're smack in the middle. So Tesla at open, I think, would be a little tougher. Meta has a cute gap down. All right, I'll take a look for that one. I'll try Tesla at the prior day high or prior day low. Just needs to. Yep. Yeah, it's just, all it is risk reward. And then as soon as this thing breaks down or breaks up higher, that's your cue. You're going to lose the R. But then it's a lot easier to take the reversal. You're not just, oh, maybe this is a spot, maybe this is a spot. No, you're just going to probably reverse it and play momentum. Red Solo says, when you have TLT chart on, what do you really analyze, or what does it tell you? TLT, that's a great question. I'm keeping it on a small time frame. You'll see it on my other TOS for anybody in the chat. It's usually set to the 3-minute. You can set it for the 5. It doesn't really matter. What I'm looking for is what direction. Oh man, don't give me a head and shoulders up there. Whew. If TLT is coming down, I do not believe the rallies. You'll typically see TLT move before some of the stocks do. Again, the larger market is not the stock market. It is the treasury market. By far, by like tenfold. You'll see TLT start to move first. Even if the stock market is popping, you're going to get, and you could, even if TLT is coming down, you can still play something bullish and make some money, but I would go for smaller targets. Go for the R, go for the 1.2. Don't try to be a hero. Because most of those rallies will not hold if TLT is going to continue to just get pounded down lower. So that's what I'm watching for. But that is the opening bell. Unfortunately, everybody out there in YouTube land, I do appreciate you joining us, but I got to go. The bell rang. It's not my fault. But I do love you guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, go to reallifetrading.com. We got free education. We've got 90-day courses. We got mentor groups. You can just come and hang out with us all day. We got all access